But I tell my mother everything under the sun. And between me, my mom, and my granny, we talk and we chat a lot, and a lot of experiences and stories, life stories we share amongst the three of us. In fact, she just moved to Kolkata, and my Dida mom and I, we are on video call and we chat. I was wearing her sari for my birthday.
I'm always happy when I see Shweta Basu Prasad in studio because I know it's going to be an invigorating conversation. And not just a conversation, when she's looking all 70s like she is right now,
Thank you, Hrishi.
it will make your heart go flutter, flutter if you're watching this on video. The reason Shweta is in studio, apart from the fact that I hope that she likes my company, is that Oops Ab Kya, which is her new show, which is produced by Dice Media, directed by Prem Mistry and Devatma Mandal, premieres on Disney Plus Hotstar on the 20th of February. I've run through 4 episodes. There's a lot of comedy, there's lots of fun, there's women empowerment, though not in the face. It's just a show I'll highly advocate you guys go and watch. What's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, my dear.
Thank you.
So this is wonderful. A girl who can never say an untruth. And I think there's so much purity in that. Don't get me wrong, she's no saint. She's not a boring saint. She knows how to have fun. But there's so many times when she's about to open her mouth, this character that Shweta plays, and you go, don't tell the truth.
Yeah.
And she will go and tell the absolute truth and nothing but the truth to people like her grandmother and her mother. And that must be a terrific character for you to play when they came to you with this saying, girl who tells no lies. And it's a family of 3 women living together. That itself is a beautiful premise.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely, and I completely thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. And yes, I think when the team at Dice Media they came to me with this with the show's idea, and the fact that Ruhi, my character, she's so honest, and she's so she's so transparent. More than honesty, she's so transparent as a person that it's almost like it's a sin if she's lying to people who she loves, who matter to her. And I think it's a quality that's so rare nowadays, because a lot of us are so honest, but a lot of us are not very transparent. And I think that's Ruhi's that's to Ruhi's merit and also demerit in the show, as you see. But yeah, it was beautiful, because there was something so innocent and beautiful, and something so timeless about that characteristic.
Yeah, and that the fact that there are 3 women and all of them are unmarried,
Yeah.
so to say. One, of course, the grandmother unfortunately loses her husband, but the mother and the daughter are unmarried.
That's right.
And there's this really strong bond between the 3 of them. It's almost as though they're friends. In fact, Sonali Kulkarni, who plays Shweta's mom, actually addresses the great Apra Mehta, and I can only call her great, the amount of work that she's done, as Subhadra, like her first name. And that kind of women bonding, and it's a very different kind of women bonding. We've seen stuff like For More Shots Please, where girls go out and party together, where they deal with heartbreak and things like that. But to show 3 different generations as
Exactly.
friends, it's almost family-like,
Yeah.
but they're having too much fun for it to be a you audience, if I can put it that way. So talk about how much that really meant to you.
Meant a lot, because I'm extremely close to my nanny, my maternal grandmom, who I call Dida. And my mom is my best friend, and very different from Ruhi and her world. But I tell my mother everything under the sun. And between me, my mom, and my granny, we talk and we chat a lot, and a lot of experiences and stories, life stories we share amongst the 3 of us. In fact, she just moved to Kolkata, and my Dida mom and I, we are on video call and we chat. I was wearing her sari for my birthday. That was earlier this month. And I love it, because I think the women in your family are your first role models. They're your first friends. They're the first women you look up to. And I think women create an environment. Men, of course, do create environment too, but I think I've seen so many places, whether it's families or that one girl in the group or that one building secretary or that one boss in the office. She really sets the tone for the environment. And I love that we were exploring that in a household. There are three women from three different generations, and the situations that they face through the series is through their gaze and their experiences in life, and that is just so wonderful.
I'm really glad that you brought that point up about your Dida, because I really believed that, Bengal and Kerala, largely matriarchal societies. I mean, I belong to neither state. I'm basically Tamil. I'm from Tamil Nadu, but I've always admired Kerala and Bengal for having that matriarchal society. Of course, these days you have to be politically correct. You don't want a patriarchal or a matriarchal society. You want it to be equal. There's no doubt about that. But the fact that, women have always been strong, have independently taken their decisions, and they're not necessarily dependent on a man for things to come through, which is what I mean by a matriarchal society.
Absolutely. In fact, when I was my first pocket money, I remember I was still single digit, and I received it from my maternal grandmom, from my Dida. She used to work in Tata Steel, and she worked till her retirement there, and she gave me my first crisp 1 rupee, 2 rupee notes. And I used to love it because I had, many of those which would be just 6 or 7 rupees, but I was like, oh, I've got a little money. And it was her, and she would be like, go buy yourself something. And that was so amazing that it was her money. She earned that, and that was my first pocket money that my Dida gave me. That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I must also mention that large parts of the Northeast are also very matriarchal. I mean, I met a Bodo tribal who was talking to me about how, in Bodo regions in the Northeast, it's the grandmother, the mother, and sometimes they've had multiple marriages, which is so cool. If men can do it, why not? So it's wonderful that it shows women power in a very delicate way. It's not in the face. It's not about these three women saying Nari Shakti and this and that. They're having fun along the way, but it's just very deep bonding.
Yeah. And also different understanding of tradition. It's also the grandmother has a certain perception or her way of practicing. The mother has broken some rules and has her way of practicing the traditions, and Ruhi has her way of exploring her freedom and her do's and don'ts and how she's practicing the tradition. I think there's something so beautiful and deep rooted and a lot of sincere friendship in that I really like.
I love the way, for example, Apra Mehta, her character, refers to one's virginity as a gullak, which actually is one of the oldest symbols of saving in this country. I mean, it's our version of a piggy bank. And she goes, gullak शादी के पहले टूटना नहीं चाहिए, this and that, which I thought was very cute. The point she's trying to express is something else, but the way she expresses it is very nice.
And it's also, I think, from her time. I think she was also expressing something that her grandmother must have told her, or her mother, women, when she was growing, must have told her that, this is your treasure, this is your wealth, so you're supposed to take care of this, that she's obviously passing on to the next generation.
Also, I think Oops Ab Kya is an appropriate title because it really is a comedy of errors at every step of the way.
Yeah.
Because at one level is, Ruhi's father who's trying to reach out to her, establish a relationship. There is her boyfriend Omkar. There is this boss of hers who she's fatally attracted to in a lot of ways. So a lot of things that are happening with the story. Does that worry you when it comes to you as a screenplay or a story and you say, oh my God, how are these guys going to shoot it? Having said that, they've done a great job because it could have turned out to be a complete khichdi, but they've managed to retain the father-daughter story strain is maintained, that integrity. The integrity of the artificial insemination, that is maintained. But does that worry you when you read so many plot points in a script saying, oh my God, will they be able to deliver it from a shooting perspective? Or were you familiar with this unit that you said, these guys can do it?
No, I'll answer that question in two parts. One is that as an actor, my job is to completely surrender and submit to what I'm doing, and my whatever is in my control is just my craft and what I bring to the table as an actor. And of course then, because it's serious issues that we're talking about, or serious situations in the story, but the tonality is comical. It's not like when it's shown, it's, it's something funny. There's no caricature as to speak
Yeah.
about it. And that was very, very clear that, we were all actually responding to the situation, but the situations, the approach could be very funny. So, it's not really, genre and approach and tonality are three really different things. And I think that one understands when, I was reading the screenplay. So that's one part of it. Second, I think all of us have multiple plot points in life going on.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have work, and then we have आज क्या खाना है, कितने बजे जाना है. We have family and friends and deadlines and so many things going on. I mean, I remember just that last week I was promoting this show, and there was a prep for another show, and my friend leaving for London forever, and I'm like, so there's always oops up kya happening in our
Correct.
lives constantly. And I mean, if it happens in life, since art reflects life as is, of course it will, as it is. So of course, one as a person, you trust that. Technically, how they do it is of course one submitting oneself to the team.
Yeah, it's lovely, and in that aspect, the show has a very clear divide of the various economic strata of society. I'll tell you this, and why not? Like you said, art reflects life. So there's yourself and Omkar, which is the character that Abhay plays, who are definitely middle class, so
Yeah.
beautifully middle class. And there's Ocean and his wife, which is played by Amy, who are definitely very South Bombay,
Yeah.
very, the other end of the economic spectrum. And how when their lives meet, when the shit hits the roof, everybody becomes very middle class.
I love that.
Like Amy will think of the most economically middle class things when suddenly, oh my God, I'm put in this situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's really really funny
You know
because
why? Because I think we associate the middle class with survival.
correct.
I think so. It's
You're
that's
right.
very interesting what you said, because I think we associate middle class with survival. You have to take the local train.
Correct.
You have
Yeah.
to.
And if I've lost my heart, I have to find it. Now.
Yeah. So I think when people from, say, somebody comes from that privileged class behave like that, where they actually care for something, you feel, oh my God, you can also be a survivor.
Yeah.
And you're acting like with survival instincts, because I think that is usually associated with middle class.
Very well said. Very well said. So and they're so well cast. I don't even know whether I thought Ashim was from Delhi.
He is actually from Delhi.
So South Delhi, South Bombay. At the end of the day, it's the same. No, but he's done a great job. He's done that hunky boy from privilege. Just completely comes across, and there's so many fun scenes between the two of you. So talk about that. Talk about working with with the boys, with Abhay, with Ashim. Again, with Abhay, there are so many comic scenes without
Yeah.
it intending to be comic at all.
Oh my God. I mean, that has to be my biggest takeaway from this show, is working with these fabulous, fabulous actors. I mean, right from Apara ji, the great Apara Mehta, I mean, Kyuki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, to Devdas, and she's done so much theatre and so much other work. She's done so much. Just to observe her, or Sonali Kulkarni, there was this one scene where she and I were having this. In the scene, we're supposed to have a banter, and I'm saying this, and then she talks back, and then I talk back, and then she says something. And at one point, I think it was a rehearsal, and I was like, "Lekin main, magar wo suno to," and everyone on set started laughing, because that was a Dil Chahta Hai reference where Saif Ali Khan
Correct.
goes, yeah. So great work from Sonali ma'am and Javed Jafri. I mean, dude, Takeshi's Castle. What a great voice! What a great
Unbelievable.
artist!
And now he's getting these interesting parts on
Yeah.
OTT.
Yeah.
So never say never. So it's wonderful to see him
Absolutely.
do stuff like this.
And even Ashim and Abhay, even Ashim, I had a blast with the boys. Like with both Ashim and Abhay. Abhay has the most. He's got the funniest comic timing ever. Like there were times when he would just improvise something, and it would just make the scene so much more colorful. Ashim, again, very professional and a great co-actor to work with. I can count them my friends today. They're so beautiful as people as well. So yeah, it's been a great takeaway from the show, working with these actors and learning so much from them.
Was Javed just deep diving into his character, or did he give you enough puns on set?
He did. He gave it a lot.
It just
He was deep
rolls off.
diving. Yeah,
He just rolls off like this, no?
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
But
God,
he's
how does he
very,
do it?
yeah, but he's like, he suddenly gets into that work mode and he's like acting, and then he's like chilling, and he would give that, as you said, he rolls out the puns and you're like, very cool.
I'm so glad that they've explored artificial insemination. I mean, that's not one of the main things. There's so much happening. There's also murder, guys, without giving any spoilers as to who's getting murdered and this and that. So there's so much happening in the Oops Ab Kya. And I think that's a very interesting explanation. And in a lot of ways, Amy's character
Yeah.
adds the guilt factor to your character, and you end up saying, okay, fine, I'll do this, and things like that. And how, due to medical negligence, sometimes, you could go for a UTI, and how it could turn out to be something else. There's so many layers to this show, man. It's crazy. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on? I mean, I'm saying it's fantastic that there are so many people who want to be parents. Now they only have the option of adoption,
Yeah.
which is also lovely.
Absolutely.
So you have your own. If you choose not to have your own, then you adopt. And now, if you can afford it, there's also artificial insemination. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's great
Amazing.
that this show explores this, and also I think anything that's told with a joke is received so well. So I'm very happy that the audience, because the approach is comical, and it's got that, it's fiction, of course, and it's obviously it's not an error on a, it's not a medical error, and we don't really underline that or anything, because it's a written character and it's a written situation in a fictional show, but it's also very human to make mistakes, also that, and what are the consequences of it, and how you receive it, and how you take that blow. I think it's also falls on the characters and their hence their interpersonal relationships, but I think it's great as a topic to be explored, because I completely agree with you that it could be a biological child, or you can adopt a child, or different ways where science today allows you to do it. I once had a conversation with someone who had adopted a daughter, and I was just curious, and then I was having a chat, and he said that he has a friend who had adopted, and he was not so sure about it, because you want your child,
Yeah.
somebody who's yours, and biologically yours, and he said that, and he's a musician, and he said that she's 8 now, and she learns all the music that I'm teaching her, and she's really learning this instrument, and she's singing that song. And he said, Shweta, your child is how you bring them up.
Wow, yeah,
And I was
true.
like, that just hits home. That makes sense, because I am not sure how many children who are brought to this world, I'm sorry, biologically, I think receive great parenting. I really doubt that. And there are, it's really how you bring your children, and you make them ready for the society and the challenges of the society and the beauty of this world, introducing to the beauty of this amazing world that we live in. So yeah, I'm really happy that it gets that topic.
And I just come off watching a couple of really dark shows, fine shows.
Yeah.
With a lot of murder and this and that. And it was so. What I love about this show also is that everybody's a nice person. I mean, you could argue that in the world everybody's a nice person, but everybody's motives, like for example, Omkar, who plays your boyfriend, his motive is pure.
Yeah.
He's willing to forgive, move on,
Yeah.
because he feels genuine love.
Yeah.
Her motive again is to try and help this couple, which is your character. Apra's motive again is to try and give her granddaughter what her daughter didn't have. Things like that. It's just so beautiful.
The intentions are very clean.
The intentions are very clean, and I think that's really nice. To view a show like that. So Debatma is Bong.
Yeah, he was born.
So was the lingua franca on set Bengali?
No.
No. You kept it so that everybody could understand. But how does this work with two directors? I mean, like one knows that the established duos, how like a Raj and DK or a Abbas Mustan or whatever work. How do these two work? Would they separate episodes or would they both be on set together?
They were never on set together. They would shoot different scenes. I don't know how did that worked out between them, but yeah, I don't know how did that they worked that out.
But for you, it doesn't make a difference, you know.
No, it does make a very big difference who the director is, and I think I realized that a
No,
lot.
no, in the sense that it does.
Yeah.
But to have two directors,
No,
I mean,
no,
yeah.
that's what. No, no, absolutely. And I've worked on. I have friends who have worked on series where they have two directors. I have worked on projects where there are, a director has a say and a DOP has a say, and there's a showrunner has a say, and they have a very creative, healthy engagement conversation about it. But yeah, I think after working on this show, I really, really realized that the directors are very important, and who you're working with is very important when it comes to directors. But yeah, I think they figured that out between them. I don't really know what was going on.
And talk to me a little bit about the rehearsals for this. Did you guys read a lot? The thing about comedy is it's such an underrated art. You turn around and say, "Oh my God, you know this could have been improvised. That could have been improvised." But especially when there are moments and it's situational comedy and there are lines, you've got to do reads of it, right? Did you do it on set before you did the scene, or did you do reads before?
We had a table reading session, I think, before the shoot happened. On set, in fact, we didn't have too many rehearsals because we were shooting many scenes in one day, packing so many scenes, and I was in most scenes and all of that. In fact, sometimes I had to ask the directors, can we like do a technical rehearsal and let's do a rehearsal. When we asked for that, we used to get the rehearsals, but mostly we used to just shoot.
Ruhi Jani. I like the surname, the Jani. And I of course, Aparaji speaks a lot of Gujju in it.
Yeah.
But you and Sonali have to have a smattering of Gujarati.
Yeah.
So how easy or difficult was that to pull off?
Easy.
Yeah.
Because I've grown up around Gujaratis. I've grown up in Bombay. I'm a Bombay kid.
Correct.
And Marathi was part of my school curriculum. But I had a lot of Gujarati friends in school, so I've grown up eating a lot of undius and dhoklas, and I can understand Gujarati fairly well, and that's why I can speak Gujarati also, like a word or two, a sentence into it, and like put in. So it was actually fun.
And you've never played Gujju before?
No, I've never played Gujju before. So I used to talk to Aparaji on set in Gujarati. I used to like just keep talking to me, and we used to like speak. It was so much fun. I love the language and I love the food. I have this friend of mine. I tell him, I was like, Devang, whenever your mom is making undiyu, especially in winters, you have to.
Devang is such a beautiful Gujarati name. Jignesh and Devang. It can only be Gujarati.
So yeah. I'm a big Gujarati language and food fan.
So how's the sitar going?
Very, very well. I cleared my second level. I'm on to my third level.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
And you get enough time to do riyaz every morning. You're still doing that, or you?
Yes, I mean mostly I do, but now I've started light vocal as well, light
Hindustani classical.
light classical vocals as well, because now in my third level I'm doing a lot of meend, which means pulling off the sitar string in a way that multiple notes can be played on one note, and that's the Gaiki Young, which Ustad Bilal Khan Saab used to, he sort of introduced, and he was a vocalist. So first to exercise my vocal cords as an actor and to bring in that discipline, and I think it's helped me a lot to play the sitar because I'm vocalizing the notes so much better.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
And were you largely untouched by the Coldplay hysteria, or did you manage to go?
No, I missed it.
Any FOMO? Because people who haven't gone are like, oh my God, my entire Insta feed is full of it,
Exactly. What form? All the stories, all the posts.
Yeah.
It's streaming live. So yeah, on Disney Plus Hotstar. So
Exactly, same channel, yeah.
so no, I've been following up. My brother went for it and he had a blast. So he was like live video calling me and mom and just showing it to us. He went with his friends. He went to Ahmedabad to watch it. But no, I mean I'm a fan of Coldplay, but not really a fan. I missed it.
Yeah, you must have been promoting and things like that. It's just and the thing about either going to DY Patil or Ahmedabad is you lose the day.
Yeah.
Because even if you're driving to Navi Mumbai, you lose the day.
Yeah.
And if you're flying out
You
of
go
town in any
anywhere in
case,
Bombay, you lose the day.
you could argue, yes. But I have to say this because I went on day one.
Oh, cool.
Is that they're a fantastic band. They sound really tight musically. But even people who didn't know their songs and they're very present. You know, Christopher Martin knew that a lot of people probably don't. But they were just happy to play for people and get more and more people to familiarize themselves with their music, which I thought was a very nice thing to do.
How considerate.
Whereas
Yeah.
people in the audience are like, bro, he doesn't know more than 3 songs or 4 songs. When the band themselves are like, it's okay, man, you know, we'll help you sing along. We'll give you the lines and things like that. But that sound and light show is just spectacular. So you don't have to be a fan of the music, but you just feel, especially now with the world going through so much turbulence and this and that, for 60,000 or a lakh of people to come together and feel joy together.
And the unity that you're doing something together.
Yeah,
is
it's just,
beautiful.
I think that was the whole beauty of it. But I live and learn. You're going to these wonderful candlelit performances, and some of them are Western classical, some of them are mainstream pop, and it's your mom and you going.
It was so
Fun
much
evenings,
fun.
huh?
Yeah, fun evening. Yeah, I love attending concerts. I love attending live shows. And even when I'm traveling, if I'm in Europe, I do catch an opera or a sound and light show. Or I think I was in Las Vegas some 10 years ago and I attended this amazing show on King Arthur. It was called Excalibur. It was about his sword. And they had horses. So it was amazing. And then concerts, there's so many concerts that happen in Bombay, Hindustani classical, Carnatic. There's so many great plays that happen and musical concerts that happen. It's amazing. Live shows are so wonderful. It's such a sensory experience.
How actively do you push your work agenda? Or have you reached a point in your life saying, listen, I'm Shweta, I've been around for a while now. Work comes to me, if it's quality, I'll take it up. But I'm not going to go out on a limb to ask for it. Which is okay, which is one point of view. Because that leaves you a lot more free time to do other stuff.
Yeah.
To pursue singing, to pursue the sitar, to travel. Or are you still ambitious enough to say, every week I will call 2 directors, or 1 filmmaker, or 1 casting guy, and just check in on what's happening? Where are you at in your life?
So no, I have never in my life called up any directors or producers to ask for work. It's just not who I am. Yes, last year, I think 2024, there was a huge market, just was so slow, and everybody I was talking to, like established filmmakers, to actors and writers and technicians, and everyone's like, oh my god, there's no work happening. So I think there was this one point where I reached out to a casting director friend and I was like, hey, is this true or what's happening? And they said that, the work is really slow right now. But that was just last year. But I've never reached out that please give me work.
But you're happy to audition. If somebody comes and says,
oh my god, I love auditions.
Oh, lovely.
I love auditions. In fact, I have few actor friends who are like, why do you still audition? And people ask me that why you have to do it. And I know actors who don't audition, which I find so strange, because it's your job interview. If nobody's questioning your talent, nobody's questioning your credibility. Somebody has written a script maybe 10 years ago, has lived with that script and that character for 10 years ago, for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, has mounted a team, gotten a director, approached a studio and a producer, got the show greenlit. All they want to see is, do you fit the character? Look wise, frame wise, dialogue delivery wise, language wise. And I think that's pretty fair. I think that's absolutely fair. It's just like a job interview. In fact, for me, when I get audition calls, I get very excited because I've never done theatre. I've learned on the job, and I think I'm learning on the job. Let me correct that. So whenever I receive an audition call, I'm like, okay, I have these 2 pages. I don't know the entire story. I don't know the entire character arc. It's almost very challenging, and it's amazing because I just go and live it. I love acting. And so, I don't care which camera is.
Yeah, so it's obviously not an ego thing. You're willing to audition 100 times.
Of course, my art is bigger than me.
Bigger than you.
Yeah.
But is it just a a discomfort at calling people for work. I think I would put it like that because some people are very comfortable. I don't know why. I'm like you a lot. Please, I mean, I'm not saying it's a virtue or it's a vice.
Yeah.
But I do have a problem reaching out for whatever. But
Yeah. I just
I
feel
don't.
whatever is
I don't disregard people who do. In fact,
Absolutely
I
not.
actually admire them at some level.
Absolutely. I think it's a lot of confidence. I think it takes a lot of courage to be like, hey, if you're doing something, let me know. And of course, there are directors whom I've expressed that I love your work and please, if there's something I'd love to audition. But if I meet them and it's at their screening or if they're friends or something like that, but to text them as a weekly thing and hi sir, kaise hai, happy Diwali, do you remember, please audition? I don't think I can do that.
More power to you. So, guys, that is that. Shweta Basu Prasad returns to your screens. Disney Plus Hotstar. It is 20th of February. It's a Thursday. Oops, Ab Kya. Delightful series. Lots of parallel plots. But you will have fun. And that's the most important thing, isn't it? You will enjoy this series. And she's done such a terrific job. Thank you for rolling by.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
94.3 Radio 1.